जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Friday. It is the 7th of February. It is Magha Masa or Madhava Masa. And then Sukla Paksham in the Dasami Tithi. So there is one Vaishnava event today. And also tomorrow it is the Baini Ekadasi, fasting from grains, beans, cereals, and all kinds of the seeded fruits. Of course, we can eat fruits, but not the seeds. And then that is the preparation for the Ekadasi. So for today, this is the event is the disappearance day of Sri Ramanujacharya. So Ramanujacharya is in the line of Sri Sampradaya. So his life history is most extraordinary and well documented, but for our pleasure, here is something you might like to read about his extraordinary saint. So from ISKCON.com, so once Ramanuja was walking along with his five top sannyasi disciples. So stopping by a pond, he took some prasadam and threw half of it in the water for the fish. Then he got up to walk on. Just then, the fish who had eaten the prasadam assumed four-handed forms and rose up in the air and returning home back to Godhead. The five sannyasis stopped and began to disrobe. Ramanuja turned and asked them why they were not following. They said, "We are thunderstruck. Please explain what we have just seen. Otherwise, how can we follow behind you in this condition?" Ramanuja answered, "You have seen the power of taking Mahaprasadam." They answered, "But we are taking your Mahaprasadam daily, and this is not happening to us." Ramanuja said, "These creatures have no free will and therefore make no offense, so they get full benefit at once. But you, with your free will and human intelligence, make offenses, and thus you hinder your own progress." Another time, Ramanuja was talking with his sannyasi disciples, and they asked him how they would ever be able to understand the deep philosophy he had written. Ramanuja said, "What I have written ultimately means simply one thing, prapatti, that is a surrender." But they continued to argue that they would not be able to fully comprehend his writings. Then he told a sannyasi disciple to bring one deaf and dumb tailor who was just walking by. When the man came, Ramanuja asked them all to leave him alone with this man. So they got up and left, but one disciple looked into the room from a window outside. Ramanuja stood up and motioned to the man to touch his feet. The tailor made full dandavats and began to tremble and cry in ecstasy. As he touched Ramanuja's lotus feet, when the disciples returned, they were amazed to see this man's ecstasy symptomatic of the highest transcendental realization. They asked, "How could such a thing like this happen to him?" Ramanuja answered, "He touched my feet in full surrender, although he cannot understand one word of philosophy. Being deaf and dumb, he has attained all perfection." On the other occasion, someone asked Ramanujacharya who was more attached, the householder in Krishna consciousness or the sannyasi in the mud. So he set out to reveal the truth that night he entered with a few of his close associates into one of his renounced householder disciples' homes. He then began to clean them out of everything that they owned, to the point that seeing the wife of laying asleep with her gold earrings and Mangal Sutram, he began to remove them from her. The husband saw that Ramanuja was doing this and remained laying there. The wife also stirred and then instructed that someone was there with her, let out a scream, and the transcendental thief was gone. The husband then said to the wife, "Why did you disturb them? It was our Gurudev, and he certainly must have had a higher plan. You should have rolled over to allow him to take the other earring." Hearing the response filtering back over the next few days, Ramanuja set his next plan. Go to the mutt where the sannyasi live, and in their ashram, take their cloth and hide it. And so one disciple took to the ashram, and while the sannyasis were all at their Shri Bhasya class, the disciple began to take parts of their kaupinis and tear strips from their vesties, dhotis, as if kaupinis had been made, and generally swap things around. When they returned, there was like all hell had let loose. Where is my kaupin? Who has torn the end of my vesties to make kaupin? Where is my angavastra? Has someone stolen it to make underwear? And so on. One of his sayings was that the Vaishnava should be like salt, in the middle salt, in the interim salt, and on the exterior salt. In this way, he encouraged honesty among his disciples. Ramanujacharya, just before leaving his body, gave 74 final instructions all about serving Vaishnavas. For instance, one should feed them nice preparations and make them so happy they smile. One should massage their legs until they fall asleep. One should walk with them to the end of the village and then 9 steps beyond, then faint due to intense separation at leaving the Vaishnavas. His main instructions were two in number: surrender to Guru and serve the Vaishnavas. So this is about Ramanujacharya's instructions and his pastimes, how he taught his disciples to understand, to elevate themselves onto the transcendental platform. Practically, he showed. And there is further information about Ramanujacharya. I will share that one in the WhatsApp group later on. And from the Ramanujacharya's, his body is still, it is kept, the material body is still kept in the Sri Ranga Kshetra, in the, so it is not a sculpture there. Of course, there is again a deity, metal deity is also kept in the front, and behind the metal deity, there is a body of Sri Ramanujacharya. It is preserved. Every day it is applied with the sandalwood paste and saffron to maintain the body, and no other chemicals are added like in a Egyptian and gold mummies like that. So his body is placed behind his idol and is open for darshan to all devotees. So that is the Ramanujacharya's. Okay, so Ranga Kshetra, it is in the Tiruchirappalli or Sri Rangam. Okay, that is about the events perspective today. And we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Sukadeva Goswami is describing the Virata form and how his body limbs have been formed together. And yesterday we have seen all the Saptadhatus and how they are created from the Bhumi, Apo, Analaha. This is the Bhumi, Apo, Tejo, Mayaha. Earth, water, and the fire. These are the Tvak, Chadma, Mamsa, Rudira, Meda, Majja, Asti, Datavaha. These are the Saptadhatus. Bhumi, Bhumi, Apa, Tejo, Mayaha, Sapta. After that, the Pranavayu or the life air, the Prana Vyoma Ambhu Vayubhihi. It is created from the space and the vayu, the wind and the water. So out of all these two together, the water is the common substance that we have seen. And later on, so that means once Saptadhatus are completely formed, Virat Rupa, the full bag of bones, flesh, blood, and all these things are ready. Now it is the time for the living entity to perform activities. Unless the living entity identifies itself with the body, it cannot do. So here, Sukadeva Goswami, he is explaining that. So now everything is ready, body is ready with all the limbs perfectly formed, and it is now having all the indriyas and also body is made up of all the panchabhutas and everything else. Now these indriyas are agitated by the three material modes of nature, and it influences on them by the gunas, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Due to that, the mind goes through different kinds of transformations. For that purpose, the intelligent also working in a vijnana or in the proper deliberation. Behind the mind, there is a intelligence. It works how to experience these pains and pleasures. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is describing. So you have already gone through this one, but once again I'm going through so that we are recording as well. So from that perspective. Okay, so we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 10, verse number 32. गुणात्मकानि इन्द्रियाणि भूतादि प्रभवा गुणाः मनः सर्वविकारात्मा बुद्धिः विज्ञानरूपिणी गुण आत्मकानि इन्द्रियाणि गुण आत्मकानि attached to the qualities gunas guna atmakani indriyani, the senses. Now when we have got the senses, they will be agitated by the three modes of material nature. And the bhotadi, this is bhotadi, material ego. Bhotadi prabhava gunaha. Prabhavaha is influenced by gunaha, the modes of material nature. Gunatmakani indriyani bhotadi prabhava gunaha. Manah sarva vikaratma. And whenever it is influenced, then what happens? Manaha, the mind, sarva vikaratma, it is going through the transformations, vikaras. So affection, happiness and distress, pains and pleasures, different kinds of feelings. Mana, sarva, vikaratma. And that is the mind. Now, the intelligence is buddhihi vijnana rupini. Buddhihi, the intelligence, vijnana rupini. It properly deliberates whatever wanted to feel or think or feel the happiness, feel the distress. But that one, vijnana rupini, it is the feature of the intelligence. It works. All are by the material modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, now everything is ready, he is feeling, and then this is how a living entity entrapped in the cage of the material body, thinking that he is the body itself. Gunatmakani indriyani bhutadi prabhava gunaha manah sarva vikaratma buddhihi vijnana rupini. So translation for this verse. The sense organs are attached to the modes of material nature, and the modes of material nature are products of the false ego. The mind is subjected to all kinds of material experiences, happiness and distress, and the intelligence is the feature of the mind's deliberation. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so can I request any unallocated devotee to read the purport, please? Hemlata Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandat Pranam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna to everyone. Purport. Illusioned by the material nature, the living entity identifies with false ego. More clearly, when the living entity is entrapped by the material body, he at once identifies with the bodily relationships, forgetting his own identity as spirit soul. This false ego associates with different modes of material nature, and thus the sense becomes attached to the modes of material nature. Mind is the instrument for feeling different material experiences, but intelligence is deliberative and can change everything for the better. The intelligent person therefore can attain salvation from the illusion of material existence by proper use of intelligence. An intelligent person can detect the awkward position of material existence and thus begins to inquire as to what he is, why he is subjected to different kinds of miseries, and how to get rid of all miseries. And thus, by good association, an advanced, intelligent person can turn towards the better life of self realization. It is advised, therefore, it is advised, therefore, that an intelligent person associates with the great sages and saints who are on the path of salvation. By such association, one can receive instructions which are able to slacken the conditioned soul's attachment for matter, and thus the intelligent man gradually gets rid of the illusion of matter and false ego and is promoted to the real life of eternity, knowledge and bliss. Hare Krishna, Shila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So here, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that now this living entity with the Saptadhatus and he is put up in a body and the mind is going through Sarva Vikaratma and it is acting in terms of intelligence, Buddhihi Vijnana Rupini. So now he is engaged. In our real experience, we have seen there are so many jails. For example, some Tihar jail. We understand if a person does any crime, he is put up in a jail, and that's it. He would hardly get a chance to come out. So here, likewise, the living entity, because of his unlawful desires, enjoying separately from Krishna, which is not offering to Krishna, and separately wanted to enjoy, lord it over the material nature. As soon as he gets that kind of desires, immediately he will be entrapped by the metal entanglement. So illusion by the metal nature, the living entity identifies with the false ego. This is called aham mama abhimana uttaihi kamalobadibihi malaihi. I am the body and this is my body, my relatives. I'm very beautiful. As soon as we look in the mirror, we see that, yes, I'm very beautiful. You look so beautiful. And I need to apply this face and lipsticks and the creams and all those things. Immediately we feel that I am this body. Sometimes we may not feel like that, but just sometimes, okay, I wanted to preserve the body so that it runs for longer time. That conception is different. I wanted to look beautiful. That conception is different. I wanted to preserve the body so that it is a platform for the spiritual activities. So, in which angle we look into ourselves, look into the mirror to see ourselves, to maintain. So that again, it differs. So more clearly, when the living entity is entrapped by the material body, he at once identifies with the bodily relationships, forgetting his own identity as spirit soul. So that is also, this is generally Chetah kalvasya bhandaya muktaye cha atmano matam guneshu saktam bhandaya ratam vapumsi muktaye. So Kapila Bhagavan explains that in whatever the condition, the living entity is entrapped by the three material modes of nature. That is called the conditioned life. And as soon as he is interested in understanding himself as a spirit soul and attached to the devotional service, then it is a liberated state. So whenever he identifies with the bodily relationships, he is conditioned. So this is how, since childhood, it is we also as a parents or the relatives, they say it is yours, your name is this, and we are just keep training him that he identifies himself as, yes, it is me, it is mine, it is my thing, I want this one, I don't want anyone to touch this one. In such a way, the living entity is grown up in the environment. That is all illusion. So this false ego associates with different modes of material nature, and thus senses become attached to the modes of the material nature. This is called the Chetah Kalvasti Bandaya Muktaye cha Atmano Matam Gunesu Saktam Bandaya Ratam Vakumsi Muktaye. So because of that conditions, he is completely wrapped up. He cannot escape. It is a very strong. And the mind is the instrument for feeling different kinds of experiences, but the intelligence is deliberative and can change everything for the better. Deliberative. So here mind is always thinking, yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam vartate kama sambhavaha. I wanted to feel this one, I want to touch this one. So likewise, it always desires, and the intelligence it gives what to do, where to do, when to do, such kind of things. This is given by the intelligence. This is the Dravya Spurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraham. There, Kapil Bhagavan describes that one, the functions of the intelligence, what it does. Dravya Spurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. But Bhutendriya Manomayam, this is the identifying oneself with the false ego. That is Sahasrasiratam Sakshadhyam Anantam Prachakshate Sankarsanakyam Purusham Bhutendriya Manomayam. When he is Bhutendriya Manomayam, I am the body, false ego. That is, when it is applied to him, then there are different activities come into the existence. They are Katrutvam, Karanatvam cha, Karyatvam, Cheti Lakshanam, Shanta Ghor Vimudatvam, Itiva Syad, Ahankuritehe. Ahankritehe. Ahankrite is the false ego. From the false ego, what are the things are born out of it? Katrutvam, Karanatvam cha. So, I am the doer, Karanatvam cha. And this is the reason. And Karyatvam. So, this is the activity to be performed. And so many things. Shanta, Ghora, Vimudatvam. In a peaceful way, in a fearful or Ghora. Vimudatvam. Vimudatvam means it's completely lazy or not being to be active in such a way in different kinds of positions. Itivasyad ahankuritehe. They are all born out of the ahankara. And then with the intelligence, what he does? Samsayo ata viparyaso nishchayah smritir evacha. Samsayam. Samsaya is the whether I need to do it or not. So there is again a kind of thoughts. Do I need to do it? Is it right or not? Samsaya. Samsayata viparyaso. And then viparyaso is opposite to that one. It doesn't matter whatever it comes, I'll do it. That is the viparyaso. Nishchayah smritir evacha. A determination and smritihi evacha. So all this swap iti uchite buddhehe. These are all swap iti uchite buddhehe. Lakshanam vrititah prutak. These are the activities of the intelligence. Samsayata viparyaso nishchayah smritir evacha. So the intelligent person therefore can attain salvation from the illusion of the material existence by proper use of intelligence. Whether I need to do it, what happens when I speak like this? What happens if I do like this? So one has to think all the time, whether it would harm anyone, whether it would hurt other feelings, is it appropriate to speak? Likewise, one has to always think and deliberate properly. An intelligent person can detect the awkward position of the material existence and thus begin to inquire as to what he is. Why is he subjected to different kinds of miseries? How to get rid of all miseries? And thus, by good association, an advanced intelligent person can turn towards the better life of self-realization. So this is the intelligent person should think how to come out of it. So this is the prasangam ajaram pasham atmanah kavayo viduhu saeva sadhushu kruto mokshadwaram apavrutam. So generally, whenever we start speaking, then automatically it will entangle us to particular subject. Jhaito vishan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho abhijayate. So that one, it is contemplating on the material activities, then we get association of those activities. But intelligent person, what happens? One side, if he is contemplating on material things, he will be entangled. But the same intelligence is used to associate with the devotees. Saeva sadhushu kuruto. Then moksha dwaram apavritam. So moksha dwaram, it is the liberation, the door for liberation, it opens. Apavritam, it opens. You can enter into the moksha. That is to the higher planetary systems, the spiritual planets. So that is where the intelligence to be used. Otherwise, we do not open our mouth at all. When we go to the, otherwise, if we get everyone getting a chance, then they will start. They wanted to influence, or they wanted to make some way like other people will give attention to that person. That is generic tendency of the living entities. But an intelligent person should not open his mouth in inappropriate places unless he is speaking Krishna Katha. So here, by the good association, this is Satam Prasangan Mama Veer Samvido Bhavanti Hrutkarna Rasayana Kataha Tajjoshana Dwasa Vardhavatmani Shraddha Ratihi Bhakti Anukramishyati. So that's why Sangahateshu Atate Pradyaha Sangadosha Harahite. One has to pray for the good association of the devotees. Then what happens? Gradually Sangadosha Harahite. Whatever the sinful activities or offenses he has made and in the past, they are gradually subsided. Harahite. One has to pray to the association of the devotees. He desired to have association of the devotees. That's why Tulayama Levena Pinaswargamna Apnarbhavam Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya Machanam Kimutashashaha. A moment of devotees association is more valuable than the liberation or heavenly planets, what to speak of the material opulences. So that is the good association. It is advised, therefore, that an intelligent person associate with a great saint, sages, and saints who are on the path of salvation. This is the Sayeva Sadhushukrito Mokshadwaram Apavritam. By such association, one can receive instructions which are able to slacken the conditioned soul's attachment for matter, and thus the intelligent man gradually get rid of the illusion of the matter and false ego. So what happens here? When he is associating with the saintly persons, automatically he will gain the knowledge, jnana. And because he has gained the knowledge, he know how to detach himself from the material things. Vairagya. Jnana vairagya yuktena bhakti yuktena chatmana paripasthiti udasinam prakritim cha hataujasam paripasthiti udasinam. Because he has got jnana and vairagya, how to detach from the material entanglement, then paripasthiti udasinam prakritim cha hataujasam. He will be upeksha. It is the paripasthiti udasina. Udasina means he will simply observe what is happening to his entanglement with the material nature. Simply observe, but he is not disturbed at any condition of life. He knows that the nature is working on the body, but because of that, influence of the nature does not affect the living entity. Prakritimcha hata avojasam. Hata is the Vajasam is the energy of the Prakriti. It would that influence will be, the strength of influence will be subsided. There is no much influence of the nature on the living entity who has got jnana and the vairagya. Jnana vairagya yuktena bhakti yuktena chatmana. That knowledge and detachment can be attained through bhakti yuktena, with loving devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Then Paripassiti Udasinam Prakritim cha Hadavacham. That's why always hearing Krishna Katha from the Bhagavatam and the devotees, Yasyam Vai Shriyamayanam, Krishne Param Purushe, Bhaktirut Pajyate Pumsaha, Shoka Moha Bayapaha. Always hear Krishna Katha. Then Shoka Moha Baya, all these things, Apaha, they'll be evaporated from our life. And Bhaktirut Pajyate Pumsaha, the love and devotion to Krishna, it will always be sprouting. And Utpatti, it is a production. The heart is a place for the production of the devotion. It is always producing and lots of love to Krishna. See, very beautifully it is describing in the Bhagavatam. So here, that is association of the devotees. What happens? To slacken the conditioned soul's attachment for the matter, and thus intelligent man gradually gets rid of the illusion of the matter and false ego, and is promoted to the real life of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Then it doesn't matter whether we are walking too much of and body is getting too much of pains or not, but inside we're always feeling happy. It doesn't matter whatever happens outside. That is called a life of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. It is beyond the bodily concept of life. It's a very beautiful purport Prabhupada is describing here. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning how the living entity is captured within the body, which is under the body is made up of the saptadhatus. Gunatmakani indriyani bhutadi prabhava gunaha manah sarva vikaratma buddhi vijnana rupini. So all the mind, intelligence, everything work as we have good experience of it. Okay, so the likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Rupanuga, June 29th, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Saranya Mataji to read this letter, please?
Hare Krishna. My dear Rupanuga, please accept my blessings. I hope everything is going on well in your center. I am very glad to know that your sales of our literatures and books are very good and improving more. It is natural that such a distribution of literature should increase as people hear more about Krishna consciousness movement. So, distribution of our books and literature is our main propaganda program. But Gargamani informed me that the payment of BTG and book sales are not being sent. So, the best thing will be to keep daily count of stocks and how many magazines and books are sold. Then regularly on Sunday of each week, the sales proceeded may be totaled for issuing a check to the amount owed to my book fund and to the BTG accounts. Then on each Monday, the check may be sent to Los Angeles. So you do this regularly, and it will be very nice. Please see that the prescribed routine of temple activities is followed according to the schedule, and all the members are chanting rounds daily 16. Please offer my blessings to all the Prabhus there. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, you want to tell?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So this was the letter, like the same content was Prabhupada was writing to different devotees. We have been seeing that since, like when you are not here, like the same letter was repeating to different devotees. So the basically the thing is like Prabhupada wanted to like um, track, or Prabhupada wanted to let know every devotees in every centers that all the book sales has to be done in a harmony, like they should inform this like a centralized approach, like Garbhagini. So into the Los Angeles, all the centers has to report how many books they are selling, and on each Monday every centers, if they send the checks to the Los Angeles, they can Prabhupada can keep a track on it, and we can make sure that there is no, like, a transparent approach can be followed, like all the how many is selling and how much amount we are getting. So there won't be any confusion between the devotees. So Prabhupada wanted that. So Prabhupada was requesting all the centers, all the devotees to keep a track on everything and send on every week to the Los Angeles center. And as Prabhupada was also mentioning, like the importance of daily chanting of 16 rounds and regulative principle. And Prabhupada also mentioning like as people hear more about the activities of Krishna consciousness or about the movement, the distribution of literatures will increase. That is a natural process because books are our propaganda. That's how we are spreading. So Prabhupada was mentioning that also, Prabhu. So that is my takeaway, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So main propaganda is the distribution of books, and also in order to maintain that movement, we have to do up to date all this with regards to checks and amounts that needs to be maintained properly. Otherwise, there will be delays in publishing the books or anything on the distribution of books. Okay, that is one thing, and chanting rounds daily, 16 rounds, and as much as possible, complete the rounds in the morning as much as possible, and then do it like morning and then afternoon before taking the prasadam. Prabhupada used to do it. That is a strength to carry out all other activities. Okay, and the blessings of the acharyas and gurus are always there. Okay, that is from Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today is Friday. We don't have any evening evening activities. Apart from that, tomorrow morning we continue our Vaikuntha pastimes tomorrow morning, and tomorrow evening our regular Bhagavad Gita by our Gaur Sangha speakers. Okay, I approach the devotees and kindly prepare yourself. If you have not responded, I have taken it as that you are doing it. Thank you so much. Okay, that's all from announcement side from me. And the devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness or any events are going on that you wanted to share, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude and continue with our further japa. And we'll be discussing again Kumbh Mela pastimes, maybe tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning, little bit, with not in rushing mode. Okay, that's all. We shall conclude. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटिवैष्णव
की जय
Srila
श्री
Prabhupada
की
ki
जय
Hare Krishna conscious day, everyone. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara